Hey guys, in today's video we're going to talk about a recent leak that hints in the direction of the old Fortnite map actually returning. Before we get into it, I'm going to say that I don't think the old map is actually returning. This video is going to be about that leak, about other evidence that suggests that it isn't, and just about the old map returning overall and what I would think of that. If you guys do enjoy this video, please do remember to give it a like and subscribe if you would like to see more. Also check the description for my Twitch. I do live stream Fortnite every single day on there, so make sure you follow that to know when I'm live. So we're going to be talking about is a leak from Lunicus Leaks, a Fortnite leaker, and they posted, I'm not sure what that means, but Epic has re-added the old map to the game files, #Fortnite. And this actually got like a decent amount of attention. I had people come into the stream and ask me what I thought of this and if I thought the old map was returning. And then quite a few people were actually excited, thinking that the old map is going to return. And ever since the start of Chapter 2, people have been hating on this map and just wanting the old one to return, so it makes sense that people were excited to potentially see the old map return in some way. However, later on, FireMonkey clarified this and said that it wasn't actually added back in the update, and that it was just kind of a byproduct of them adding other things back into the game. They were using some old event files to potentially reuse for future events, and then adding the old map back to the game was just a byproduct of that in some way. I don't really understand how all of this stuff works, but the leakers talked about it in that manner. You'll see the tweets on screen right now. I'll have screenshots of them as I was discussing them. So the old map isn't actually coming back, or it isn't necessarily coming back, and merely they were trying to reuse certain assets from the past for future events, which makes sense. Why develop new things when you can reuse the old ones? It just basically saves time doing so. So it makes sense somewhat to potentially re-add it for the purpose of reusing previous event physics or whatever. I don't really, like I said, I don't understand game coding, but it doesn't seem like the old map is actually returning like a lot of people thought. A lot of people were really hyped from that initial tweet and got really excited, so much so that they didn't really pay attention or like reason out anything. They just saw old map returning. I'm excited. I'm happy. I hate the old map. I want the new, or I hate the new map. I want the old map back, is what a lot of people think. And that's what the rest of this video is going to be about, is if the old map should return, if that would actually save the game, and what would that like effect of that actually be. And pretty much constantly in the Fortnite community, for as long as I can remember, lots of players just hate on whatever is new and want whatever the old thing is to return. And you've seen this, like I said, pretty much constantly ever since the game came out. I remember back in like season 3 and 4, people would want season 1 and season 2 back. And a lot of times people's like desires for the old versions of the game actually has very little to do with the game itself and more to do with the time period in which they played it. Lots of people like the older seasons or look back fondly on the older seasons. One, because it's been quite some time since they've played it, so like they look back on it more fondly. And two, they miss that more exciting time in the game. Obviously, when you started playing the game and you were new to the game and your friends were new to the game and like everybody was new to the game, it was more exciting. You see the same thing in other games like Call of Duty. Pretty much whatever Call of Duty someone started on is their favorite Call of Duty and the one they look back on the fondest, just because it was all new to them. It was all fresh. And even throughout years of Call of Duty, you've seen people go back to older games and praise them for things that they potentially hated at the time. And Fortnite is no different in that aspect. A lot of the people wanting the old map back now were the same people hating on it and wanting a new map in the past. I remember season 9, season 10, pretty much every season post like season 7, I want to say, like 7, 8, 9, 10, people were constantly towards the end of the season wanting a new map and asking for an old map to come back, or new map, my bad. People wanted a new map and were like asking for it every season until we eventually got it. And once we got the new map, they just wanted the old map back. And that's why I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people are very flimsy with like their desires and their opinions, and they don't actually know what they want. They just want it to be what it was in the past because they have fond memories of it. I don't personally want the old map to come back. I think this map is actually pretty good. And as you see some old locations on this map, like Retail Row, Salty Springs, Pleasant Park, they could bring back some of the old locations. They could bring back Tilted one day, maybe. Lazy Links is one of my personal favorite locations. They can maybe bring that back. Greasy Grove, very similar to Holly Hedges. I don't know why they would bring it back, but like they've shown that they can bring old POIs into this new map and that it'll actually flow and function quite well. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a few seasons we see some older POIs return and that have something to do with the storyline. But I don't think they will bring back the entire map just because they spent all the time developing this one. And if you remember towards the end of season 10 when the storyline was wrapping up, there was a lot of things Epic posted about the storyline and how long they had been working on it. They planned several seasons in advance, so it's very likely the next few map changes are already planned and already in development, and it would be a waste of time to go back on that. Sure, it would be fun for a small time period, but after a week or two, people would remember all the things they disliked about the old map, and it would become stale again, and then they would likely want the Chapter 2 map back or something along those lines. And I've also seen people discuss like, oh, they should just do an LTM where we get to play on the old map. And that would be exciting for a few days. I feel like that would kind of solve the natural like decay of the excitement for an old map. Like people would be excited for a few days and then get tired of it sooner than they did in the past just because they've already played on it. And an LTM for a few days would be really exciting. And I think it'd be really good, but it also might increase like complaints. Like people will play that for a few days and then just constantly want the old map back even more than if Epic just sweeps it aside. It's kind of like Siphon. If they gave us Siphon again, or they give a glider redeploy, like once we have something, it's really frustrating to go back to like not having it. So I don't think they'll do an LTM of the old map, even though I do think it would be fun for a few days. And then I've also seen people suggest like just have multiple maps and have you be able to queue up for multiple maps. I don't know about you guys, but ever since they added skill-based matchmaking, my queue times have been much longer, sometimes minutes at a time for public matches. And if they had two separate player bases for two separate maps, I feel like queue times would just be even more extreme. And for a battle royale, you don't want to split the player base like that. So I don't think they will have selectable maps and let us choose which map we want to play on, which map we want to queue up on. I feel like that's just kind of like not really viable. It'll split the player base too much. So that's my thoughts on the old map potentially returning. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. I just wanted to talk about this because of this recent leak did get some attention. And it's something that's like always being discussed in the Fortnite community, and I've never really given my thoughts on it in a video. So I hope you guys found it informative, helpful, entertaining, whatever. Please do remember to give it a like if you did, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching. Nice. But they're just trying really hard. So I might not need mobility to kill them, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have to worry about third parties because I took care of them. I don't know where the other guy is. I need to hit a shot on him so I get the kill if the form does it. He has to come up here to me. Let's go, bro. I'm done the raid area 51. Whose mans is that? Oh. What the fuck just happened? This is like if the Three Stooges were a SWAT team or something, dude. I don't even know. Do you think he's irritated with just getting pelted with 9 damage every now and then while he's flying? GG's. God, the bow is absurd.